Hello again, friends, and welcome to another segment here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. It's so good to see all of you. I'm getting so excited that spring is just around the corner, and I'm even more excited that tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. So, my intention with you today is to give you 3 drinks. Well, 2 drinks, and I'm going to share with you some different liquors that actually come from Ireland to honor the Irish. So, without any further ado, I have a little shot here of some Irish whiskey, and as they say in Ireland, sláinte. That's a little bit different than a sip of wine. So welcome, my friends. Today, I want to just give you just some minor tips and minor ideas for what you may want to do to celebrate St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. I'm guessing I don't need to give you many ideas, but I love doing this and I love sending these to you. So here we go. I have on the table for you liquors that come from Ireland. I do not normally keep, I like Scotch whiskey. I don't keep much Irish whiskey in the house, but I happen to have a bottle here that let me move this out of the way here for you, that I almost always keep on stock. It's probably one of the few. I have 2 examples of Irish gin that I want to share with you. And let me just say up front that when you look for gins, if you know how much I love gin, when you're looking for gin, don't overlook Irish gin. Now the one here, this is called Drumshanbo. You can get this in PA for my PA people, which is the majority of most of you. You can get it in most states, I think. The other gin I have here is from Dingle. That's a town in Western Ireland, which I'll tell you about. I had a chance to visit there while we're sampling that. And finally, I want to start with a whiskey that you might have seen in the stores. And this is kind of a higher end whiskey. This is Redbreast 12. First time I ever had this was actually in Ireland when I was in the town of Dingle. So both of them have some sentimental value to me, and they both actually taste very good. So I'm going to make 2 cocktails for you, sip on them, and then we'll let you get your preparations on for tomorrow's festivities. So let me start with the Redbreast. Let me talk about the Redbreast first. This is a single pot distilled Irish whiskey, listen to me, made from fermented or malted barley, which is obviously then fermented. So this is a barley-based whiskey, and I'm just going to give you some notes from the bottle. It says a rich mix of dried fruit and spice with toasted oak and sherry undertones, and it is triple distilled and matured in the finest oak casks. Redbreast has a whole series. I'll put their website up on the post for you, and then you can go look at that on your own. The cocktail that I'm going to make from it is really very simple. I started out with a straight shot of it, which you can do too. I'm not a big shot guy, but I had to do that today. So the drink we're going to make is called the Scent of Spring. And since we're just a few days from spring, I thought it would be most appropriate. So the Scent of Spring only has 3 ingredients. It has your Redbreast, which I pre-poured for us, some soda water, club soda, top it off. I don't like to put too much in as it dilutes it, and of course finish it off with a little bit of Angostura bitters. Gives it a little color. Set that aside, give it a stir. Truth be told, I've never done this cocktail before. So here we go. Very smooth. The bitters give it that little bit of bitterness that helps smooth it out. Takes the whiskey down a notch, and it's just a really nice, this is really good. A nice little sipper for St. Patrick's Day. Sláinte. Just a little bit. You get some of the caramel and the oakiness I would recommend if you're going to make this, they call for like a shot, maybe like a shot and a half of, or maybe 2 ounces of the whiskey. How much club soda is just to taste. I would definitely keep the club soda low, because if I had put much more in here, you kind of lose the flavor of the whiskey, because the whiskey is not overpowering. That's very good. So that's our Redbreast. Redbreast is, I don't remember how much I paid for this, but it's north of $50. It's not over 70. I think it's maybe somewhere between 50 and 70. I've had it sitting around a while. I don't drink a lot of whiskey, but when I have it, I love it, and that's a very good drink, I'm sure, to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. True confession, I'm not Irish, but I do have a little bit of Scottish in my blood, so close enough. So that's Redbreast, readily available wherever that you might want to get it. Now, let's move on. I told you that Ireland is also famous for a number of gins, and I'm going to talk about both of these gins, but I'm going to talk about the one that I can make a mixed drink with first. So this one is called Drumshanbo Slow Distilled Gunpowder Irish Gin. Just look for this cool blue bottle, and let me just read on the back here. It just says, using nature's finest oriental botanicals and gunpowder tea. So there's where you get the gunpowder. I apologize, I didn't do my research on what gunpowder tea is, so we're going to have to pass on any further explanation on that. But basically this has tea in it, so that adds a very interesting note to it. Let me do the little floral on it, because one of the things I love to do with gin is get the florals, or is get the aromas. There's a lot going on there. Citrus, obviously the juniper, very, very nice. I've had this before. It's been a while. I put it back in my stock, and true confession, I bought it to be able to do this spot with you today. So that's Drumshanbo Irish Gunpowder Irish Gin, slow distilled. So I'm going to make you a drink which they call their signature cocktail. It's a shot, which I pre-poured, a shot of the Drumshanbo, a nice wedge of grapefruit, and it's basically a gin and tonic, but garnished with a grapefruit. I'm going to keep the tonic low. Get yourself a nice tonic. I buy this Zevia that has stevia extract in it, and it keeps the calories down. It's something that I look for. It has quinine in it, and then we'll take the grapefruit, we'll punch it in there. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway to mix it up. Give it a quick stir, and you have your Drumshanbo signature drink. So you can do gin. You don't have to do whiskey. You don't have to do Guinness. You can actually do some really nice cocktails on St. Patrick's Day. So let's give this a try. The grapefruit just pops a little bit there when you put that grapefruit wedge in it. Very, very good cocktail. And I don't know if you noticed it, in this glass I have, pretty hard to see, one of those big round ice cubes that I like to use, because it makes the ice melt a little slower, because it's got a more compact mass than these small ice cubes that are in this whiskey drink. And I have even bigger ones that I really like to use, because it does not dilute the drink if you really want to sip it. If you want to guzzle it, which I don't recommend, doesn't matter anyway. You don't really need any ice if you're going to guzzle it. But if you want to keep your drink colder longer and have it slow diluted, which isn't a bad thing, because sometimes dilution, when you're talking about spirits, helps release some of the esters and chemical compounds that you smell and taste when you're having them. That's quite good. Very, very smooth. And I want to end, I'm going to move our gunpowder tea gin aside here with one that's near and dear to my heart. This gin, I just have in a little shot glass, because you can drink gin like that as well. This gin is called Dingle Gin. 5 years ago, I had the opportunity, it's actually 6 years ago now, the opportunity to take a trip with some really close friends and spend a week in Dingle, Ireland. You can look it up. It's on the southwestern corner It's one of the closest points to the continental United States in Ireland. I think it only took us, we flew into Shannon, it only took us about 5.5 hours from, I think we flew out of Newark, and basically New York City area, and it only took us 5.5 hours to get there. Had a wonderful week. Dingle is considered the foodie capital of Ireland, and find a lot of good wine there, made in Ireland anyway, but they do import a lot of good wine, being so close to the European continent. So this gin we found there in one of my previous spots. I might have featured this gin. I wore the Dingle t-shirt. But this gin had been hard to find, and then we were ecstatic when we found out that we could get it here in the United States. I actually was able to get it in Pennsylvania for a short while, but it does pop up in Delaware. It does pop up sometimes in PA on a special liquor order. I have this bottle, which you can see is 3/4 empty. I do have another one or two on hand as they came up. I bought them because I know that they're not easy to get. But when we have friends that go to Ireland, they go regularly, they're able to bring some home, and that's very nice of them to do that. So this Dingle gin is what they do in Dingle with this, when they served it in this big wine glass, and they actually took juniper berries and kind of crushed them a little bit and poured them in the bottom of the glass with just a touch of tonic, and the juniper just popped on the drink. So this one is made with local botanicals. Some of them, one's called rowan berry, juniper, bog myrtle, heather, chervil, angelica, and some coriander in this. And we actually visited the Dingle distillery. We had a chance to have some mixed drinks there. It's right on the Atlantic Ocean. And it is just a very fantastic, it has here World Gin Award's world's best gin. So I don't know when that happened, but I can tell you this gin is fantastic. So if you're able to come across it, I would certainly recommend that you snag a bottle if you're into gin. If you can't, don't worry about it. You can get Drumshanbo gunpowder tea gin in any Pennsylvania liquor. Well, not any, but most of the PA wine and spirit shops will carry it. But I can tell you, this one will change your attitude towards gin. And I can also guarantee you that somewhere in Dingle tomorrow, to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, there's going to be a lot of Dingle gin consumed in the town of Dingle and all across Ireland. Now, what I did was I only put this a little bit in a glass. I didn't want to make another cocktail because you could have done the same thing. Honestly, you could put the grapefruit in with the Dingle gin, but I wanted to sniff it and taste it for you. Wonderful. You could drink this just over ice, and I recommend the ice because straight gin is a little bit stiff, if you will, a little bit. It's the palate a little hot, so you want to. That's why they always recommend with any of the spirits that you drink, just a drop of water or an ice cube, just one ice cube if you're going to have it straight up. You can do that, but this is Dingle gin from Kerry County, Dingle, Ireland. I highly recommend, if you can find it, if you're experimentative and you want to try it, go look for it. But there you go. You got your Redbreast, your Dingle, your Drumshanbo, gunpowder Irish gin, gunpowder tea Irish gin. There are 3 different gins or 3 different liquors that you can use tomorrow to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So I hope it's a good day for you. And on that note, here's my Dingle. Sláinte, and enjoy your day. We'll see you next time.